Hello, everyone. This is Rev Roy. I'm a Reiki master, a reflexologist, and an energy healer. And my husband and I are co owners of Aroma G's Botanica in Nashville, Tennessee. Today, we're going to talk about understanding energy work and how it can support your living, magical, and healing practices, and learn some hands on techniques to sense, shift, and strengthen energy for yourself and for others, and even talk a little bit about ethics and safe, responsible energy work. People like to talk about labels, and we assign labels to each other and to ourselves. Some people call me the Catholic witch. Some just call me a witch or a pagan and a root worker, and recently a mage. I found myself uncomfortable with that. But anyway, none of these words are what I truly believe. They're not my path. They're just practices and activities that I do. My belief system is energy. I believe in energy as the ultimate form of life, which would make me a pantheist. So, what is pantheism? And for reference, I use the word God, not that often, spirit and universe interchangeably, but most of the time you'll hear me say the word spirit. So, pantheism is a belief system that God is the universe. It's a concept of God is the entire universe rather than something separate from it. What others may call God or spirit, source, or creator is for me the universe. It's always here, always growing. Um, the universe is seen as a single, all encompassing divine unity in pantheism. Um, and because the universe is divine, we believe in treating the earth and all living things with all love, profound respect. We provide for a strong foundation for environmentalism as it sees the natural world as being sacred and all its sources. Pantheism does not usually involve a personal God, but rather a divine essence within the cosmos. There is no separate God or not God. Instead, there's only the divine experiencing itself through the everything that exists. And we don't believe really in an individual afterlife. Pantheists generally don't believe in a personal afterlife, as there's nothing separate from the divine unity. So we survive death. We just return to the universal spirit. Um, we align ourselves with that energy when we're doing healing work and magical work. Energy work is aligning yourself with the current energy, depending on what your goal is. You can call it life force, chi, ki, prana, spirit. Some even use the word soul in different traditions, but it's all the same current. It's still the same flowing energy. So I'm going to start this presentation today in three parts: living energy, healing energy, and magical energy. Um, so when we talk about living with energy, um, I hope you're familiar with Dolores Cannon. I believe in a lot of the lectures that she gave, not everything, but one time she gave a lecture on her version of the creation story, which aligns with the philosophy of pantheism. And I'm going to paraphrase and add to that story. So in the beginning, there was only God, the void, and God was bored. There was nothing to experience, no one to talk to, nothing to do. Can you just imagine that? You have absolutely no one to talk to, not even a place to sit down. There's nothing but the void, nothing but darkness. So this God started expanding itself so that it could experience something. And we would call this the Big Bang Theory. Eventually, humans appeared so this God could experience life. So since we are the universe, then everything that we experience is experienced by the universe. But we're all a part of the universe. So what I experience, so do you. And if I have a good energy today, that is shared with you. And if I have a bad energy today, that's also shared with you. So it makes you, in your daily life, think about what kind of energy you want to have, what kind of energy you want to share, because no matter where you are in the world, I'm sharing that with you and you're sharing that with me. Um, when living with the energy, we align ourselves with the essence of that energy. And every situation has an essence. The way we align with that energy can determine how our days go, how we live our lives, and the outcomes of our actions. For example, if I walk around in a bad mood, bad energy all day, then I'm going to be aligned with more people and situations that have bad energy. If you have a desperate, woe is me energy, you'll be aligned with more people with that same energy. As an example, if you walk around wearing a hoodie and headphones, you're aligning with an energy that says, don't talk to me, don't approach me, I don't want you to see me. You can't align with this kind of energy and, at the end of the day say, why does no one ever want to talk to me? Why does no one want to include me? Well, that's because you told everyone not to. If you always position yourself to stand behind a counter or a table or a box, you're aligning with an energy of protecting your sacral chakra. You build a fort around yourself so that, no one can see the real you. This is a form of protection because you think people won't like you, or won't like you for who you truly are. And then you wonder why people don't like you. Well, because you told them not to. And we hear a lot of talk these days about manifesting and the law of attraction. And sometimes I have issues with the way these concepts are presented. We have to align with those energies to be successful. We can't just say the words. You can't say, I want money and, a suitcase with $1 million is going to fall out of the sky. If you're trying to manifest abundance, you have to live in an energy of abundance. And the energy of abundance is being willing to accept and wait on what the universe is already prepared to give you. You can't say, I need money for rent every month, while your energy is, I'm never going to get it. But I'm just going to always be broke and say this anyway. You can't manifest wealth when you have an energy of poverty. This is what it means when we say we have to believe or have faith. Faith itself is just an energy. And the universe doesn't listen to our words. The universe and you are feeding the energy. And there's no such thing as good luck or bad luck. I truly believe that. Those are both just energies to be aligned with. They're energies we choose to align and based on our beliefs about ourselves and the universe. And there's no such thing as willpower. Willpower is an outside entity, a separate energy from ourselves that we create that's disconnected from our lives. There is only the energy of commitment to be successful. A client recently asked me what they should do to get a job that they've been interviewing for. They wanted to be the best candidate for the job. They went on to tell me about all the degrees they have and all the certifications that they have, and they know they're the best person for the job. And my advice to them was to remember every situation has its own energy. You want to show up with an energy of actually getting the job, not the energy of being the best candidate. Those are two very different energies. I told her that as a business owner and many years as a manager before that there have been times when I hired the second best choice just because of someone's vibe or their energy. So let go of the right candidate energy and own being a winner. Our energy affects our communications with others. So when we're talking about healing with energy, I found this quote from Dr. Usui himself. Reiki is the art of inviting happiness into your mind and body, and the belief that the universe is alive and filled with energy. So even Dr. Usui talked about energy, about being alive and being filled with it. And, there's some common signs of energy imbalance. Feeling foggy, can't think, being overly tired or anxious, or a scattered mind. Your magical work not working, fizzing out, it just doesn't land, and not feeling grounded. So anytime you're doing energy work, you need to be grounded. And my definition of being grounded is bringing all your energy back to yourself. Pull in all that energy that you've given away, given to other tasks, given to other people, and bring it all back to yourself. You have to be whole to be grounded. Getting calm and allowing all these energetic parts of yourself that you gave away to someone else or a situation and bring it back to you. And there are many grounding techniques you can use. So try some of these. We're going to talk about a few techniques that I normally teach my students. The most common is go outside and stand in the grass. The best way to ground is to experience Mother Earth. Stand in the grass barefooted, feel that connection with the earth, feel that connection with the universe. So deep breathing is another exercise you can do to get grounded. Breathe in slowly and deeply from your core. Breathe out slowly, imagining all your worry and anxiety leaving your body as you exhale. Sometimes counting while breathing in or out can further calm your mind because it focuses your mind a little bit. I personally don't like deep breathing exercises. I don't like focusing on my breathing. It makes me almost want to hyperventilate. So another good exercise is mindfully existing. Trace your hands around your physical outline of your body and be aware of your existence in the world. This can help you feel more connected to yourself. We as humans we don't put as much emphasis on ourselves as we put to other people. We're magical beings. We're energy beings. And sometimes we just need to feel ourselves, feel our own energy and remind ourselves that we're magical beings too. Mindfully eating and drinking. Eat or drink something while focusing on the sensations. Some people like to drink hot tea as a way to ground themselves. It is a form of mindfulness. You can try just straight meditation, and there are many ways to meditate. So you can look at that, find the method that works for you. Use your voice. Your voice, especially if you're alone. This will help bring you back to the present. Words are powerful. Talk to yourself. Congratulate yourself. Those kind of things. Your words are powerful. You can take a mindful bath. Take a relaxing hot bath or shower and just pay attention to the experience. Enjoy it. Put yourself in a comfortable place. Imagine yourself in a safe and comfortable environment. Feel the safety of it. Just put yourself there and stay as long as you can. Counting works for some people. That works for me. Look outside, count the things you see. You can count the trees, stop signs, bushes, insects, birds. They keep your mind focused when you're counting. Exercise can help. Jump up and down in one spot. Exercise in one spot. Do some yoga poses. Go for a walk. Ride a bike if you're able. Hold on to something comforting. It could be a pillow or a blanket, a stuffed animal, a doll, just something you find comfort in, maybe something from your childhood. And dance. Spiritual dancing is a great way to stay connected with spirit. Just move as your body lets you. Talk about an exercise on aura sensing, seeing energy, and you can try this when you're alone, when you get home with someone else. But energy never lies, and what I would like you to do is pair up with somebody, and just kind of look at them, head to toe, making mental notes. How they hold their head, how they hold their arms, which way their hands are facing, which way their feet are facing. And then close your eyes and look at them again and see if it matches. See if the physical body matched the energetic body you were looking at with your eyes are closed. And after many years of being a healer, I can tell you a lot of times it doesn't. Sometimes people can look very open in person when you're talking to them physically. but energetically, they're, covering themselves. They're in protection mode. They're backing up. So sometimes we can see that if we learn to look at people's energy fields. All right. So as a Reiki master, I can't talk about energy without going into a discussion about the chakras. These are the energy centers in the body that live with us, always moving, hopefully, keeping energy flowing through our body. There are different understanding of chakras, and I'm going to talk about the way I teach them and the way I believe, but you may hear other things as well. The 7 chakra system is the most common, and that's what you're going to learn in most classes you take, Reiki classes or energy classes. There's also a 12 chakra system, which is what I follow. Excuse me. In the 12 chakra system, it's kind of a belief that we start out with 7, and as we grow, as we enlighten, the other 5 chakras will begin to open up. And this is true for society as a whole. As we have 7 chakras as a society, but the other 5 are waiting to open up. So it can happen at a high level, or it can happen at an individual level. And I'm beginning to see 2 or 3 of those 5 chakras actually open. So that explains a lot of the changes that are going on right now. And of course, there are hundreds of minor chakras throughout the body and all the joints, the hands and the feet. So now I'm going to discuss how I understand and teach the chakra system, the 7 chakras. If you were taught differently, go with what resonates with you. There is no chakra police. So the first chakra, the root or the base chakra, it's your survival center. It's at the base of the spine, and it is the ability to draw abundance from the planet. It's the seat of physical vitality. It regulates mechanisms that keeps your physical body alive. It governs both survival and abundance issues. Kundalini, the life force of survival, is located there, and if not properly utilized, it results in fear and constant fight or flight syndrome. This force lies dormant until the higher self can learn to properly release it and use it on both a physical and spiritual level. The root chakra expression of energy is directly related to your quality of health. And holding on to old patterns causes imbalances here. The root chakra is dominated by fear. It's a fear of survival, a fear of not making it, a fear of, not living, not making it on your own. So it's probably really our most important chakra, in my opinion. The second chakra, the sacral, sometimes called the sexual center. It's about 2 inches below the navel, and it's the center of sexual energy, creative power, feelings, emotions. Sorry. It's also where our personal identity lives. First impressions, old emotional pictures are all stored in this center. It's the proving ground for relationships. Creative vitality extends to all aspects of your life, not just to human reproduction, and blocks in this area that can lead to relationship problems, as well as keeping you from realizing your own good and your full potential in life. The center provides the pathway through which our spiritual and co-creative powers take a physical form. It's also the location of the Reiki Point Center, also known as the Hara. So if you're familiar with the Hara or the Tantian, that those are presented in Eastern martial arts. The sacral chakra is associated with your emotional body, sensuality, and creativity. And its main function is the principle of pleasure. The third chakra, the solar plexus, that's located right below the sternum, in the hollow between the 2 sides of the rib cage. It's in the physical center of the body, the place where physical energy is distributed. It is the seat of the will and some intuition, as when we say, I have a gut feeling about something. That's living in that solar plexus. When we have conflicts between upper and lower chakras, we often feel it here, like a tightening in the stomach. It's the center of unrefined emotions and of power urges. So it's the power and wisdom center. This is the connection to your own uniqueness within the universe and your greater purpose. It's also where you process your own psychic development. So the solar plexus is associated with your own expression of will, your personal power, your mental abilities, and your own personal responsibility. And the function of the solar plexus is directed by the principle of power and intellect. So the fourth chakra is the heart center. This is the connector between the upper and lower chakras. It's the intellect and emotions, respectively. It's the seat of devotion and compassion, love of all kinds, conditional and unconditional. Through it also flows the energy of connectedness with life. This chakra is also depicted as rose-colored sometimes instead of green. And it's where all childhood memories get stored, good and bad. We store those in the heart chakra. This chakra is associated with any kind of expressions of love, compassion, relating to others and to yourself. The fifth chakra is the throat center. This is the seat of communication, self-expression. It's included in your creativity. It holds the master blueprint of physical wellness. Many colds and sore throats are the result of not speaking your truth and not speaking up for yourself. This is also where you hear your inner voice, as in the voice in the back of your mind. It's where voices from extrasensory realms enter, on the back of the neck. Your inner philosopher also lives here in the throat chakra, and generally starts waking up about your mid-30s. The throat chakra is associated with expression and communication, and most importantly, it's associated with truth with a capital T. The sixth chakra is the third eye, or the brow chakra. It's in the middle of the forehead, between and slightly above the eyebrows. It's the seat of clairvoyance, telepathy, higher consciousness, emotional and spiritual love. It's where we visualize things and seek mental clarity. It's the center for psychic connection and the understanding of the universe. The sinuses are where we let go of old stuff. The third eye chakra is the center of intuition and foresight. And its function is driven by the principle of openness and imagination. And then finally, the seventh chakra, the crown center. This represents the highest level of consciousness. It's often called the I am consciousness, enlightenment. It's the seat of direct spiritual vision and intuition that far exceeds the ability of clairvoyance and our direct connection to spirit. This represents the pineal gland and the upper brain. The crown chakra gives us access to higher states of consciousness as we open to what is beyond our personal preoccupation and visions. And the function of the crown chakra is driven by consciousness and gets us in touch with the universe. A lot of times we hear people talk about their chakras being out of balance. I talk with people and it's like, oh, my third eye's out of balance or whatever. Truly, you can't have one out of balance. If one is out of balance, they all are. Because we have to get that energy aligned back up. The heart chakra is a little different. It doesn't have an out of balance state. The heart chakra is either open or closed. And we do that willingly, and we can do it daily. We open and close our heart chakra at will. And then the crown chakra is also a little different. It doesn't have an out of balance state. it is closed until we open it. And once it's opened, we can't close it back once we've reached that I am consciousness. And that's a hard one to open in our society today, because we're kind of taught that we're not allowed to do that. We can't go so high as to have an I am consciousness. So I feel a little ethics about working with someone else's energy, being around someone else's energy. Always get permission before doing energy work on someone. We never want to walk up and, put our hands on someone's back and give them healing energy. Some people don't want to be healed. They're not ready to be healed. And that's their choice to make. We can't change that. Sometimes people get addicted to being sick or out of balance, or and we have to help them or let them work through that. We can't take that away from somebody ourselves. And then, if depending on how you believe, there's such things as soul contracts. Sometimes people are going through life exactly what they're meant to. And, we can't change that. So we need to always get permission before we do things like that. Know your limits. We all have different skills with our healing and energy abilities. And so you need to be able to refer someone out if you feel like it's beyond your scope. Protect your own energy, ground, shield, release what's not yours. Make sure you're not holding on to someone else's energy. And, sometimes I get asked by students when I'm doing Reiki classes, can I pick up something off someone else? Well, the short answer is yes, but it's really not what you think it is. Most of the time it is energy aligns with energy. Energy attracts like energy. And the universe has this beautiful way of lining us up with people that are dealing with the same problems that we have. So, if you're going through something, you're struggling with something, you may end up doing energy work on someone that's having the same issues you are. And that's the way of healing yourself. So that's what you'll pick up, that feeling of things that you're already dealing with. Never promise cures. You're not a replacement for medical care. Don't tell someone to stop taking medications or going to doctors and so forth. Just always be respectful when you're walking around in someone else's energy fields. Enter it gently, leave it gently. And then the third part of our class today, magical energy. When doing magical work, we have to be aligned with the energy of the work we're doing, even if it's for ourselves or someone else. And we also need a balanced energy for doing any kind of magical work. I would never enter into doing magical work for myself or anyone else if I was scattered or tired. And you can use your chakras in part of your magical work as well. They're not just centers of personal energy. They act as portals between body and spirit and the unseen world. Each one holds specific qualities that shape, how we do magical work, how we cast spells, how we heal, how we connect to magic. By learning how to sense, clear, and work with the chakras, we strengthen our spell work. We improve our own protection. When we deepen our alignment with our intentions. So the root chakra, the magical role for that would be the foundation of our workings, protective wards, grounding rituals, banishing fears, using for all matters of money and abundance and survival and your personal needs. And if you're not balanced in your root chakra, your magic can feel scattered and weak, ungrounded. It's probably never going to land. The sacral chakra, it can be used for spells of attraction, sexuality, fertility, creativity. It supports fluidity and magic, helps bring ideas into form. The solar plexus, it can be a feel for intention, courage, strength behind your spells. And when it's strong, it empowers charms and sigils and spells that stick and they land, and you get what you need from them. The heart chakra is good for working with all matters of love, healing, reconciliation, forgiveness, astral connection, ancestral connection. It balances self-love and love of others. It helps prevent spells from turning manipulative. The throat chakra, it gives you power in the spoken word, chanting, prayer, invocations, song. It's good for spells related to truth. And the throat chakra is vital for witches who cast out loud. It strengthens your affirmations. It makes your chants powerful. The third eye chakra, good for divination, clairvoyance, dream work, journaling, psychic sight. It strengthens the ability to perceive spirits and omens and the subtle energies you need to work with in magic. The crown chakra, it's good for communing with gods, saints, guides, anything in the higher realms. It's essential for deep ritual states, trance, and channeling. And the way you would actually work with these chakras in magic, like the root chakra, before you start your your magic work, visualize some red light at the base of your spine. Imagine roots going deep into the earth. Use this to ground work before and after your spell work. You can use it to anchor your protection charms. For the sacral chakra, it's good for attraction, fertility spells. Actually breathe into the sacral chakra. Visualize orange light glowing out of that. Like while anointing a candle or a charm. Focus on the warmth and passion flowing into that object. The solar plexus, stand tall. Place your hands over your stomach. Breathe golden fire into the center. Speak your intentions loud, projecting from this chakra to feel spells and empower sigils or whatever objects you're working with. If you're working with the heart chakra, actually place your hands on your heart. Breathe green or rose light into your chest. Channel that love into healing, reconciliation spells, ancestor prayers. If you're doing a group ritual, send heart energy outward as a blessing to everyone. For the throat chakra, before you start your spell or circle or whatever, hum, chant, use tone to awaken this chakra. Speak spells from here. Imagine blue light carrying your words and your spells out into the world, out into the universe. It can be very useful in binding, commanding, and affirmation magic. For the third eye, tap between the eyebrows. Breathe violet indigo light into the spot. Use it to see outcomes during divination or to enter a trance before journeying. Envision the spell success before you even start it. And for the crown chakra, imagine white or violet light at the crown, opening up like a lotus. Invite divine guidance in, saintly blessings, ancestral support. Use it to channel energy into ritual tools and to consecrate sacred spaces. Remember keeping your energy in alignment with the type of work that you're doing. And don't forget to stay in the essence of an energy. If you're doing love work, love attracting, you have to be in an essence of love energy. You have to be accepting of that love. You have to be willing to devote yourself to that love. Same goes with money and abundance. You have to be willing to accept that money, accept that abundance. You can't go into that type of spell work with the doubt that you're ever going to receive it. We often talk of working with the elements, the four elements, but they each have their own essence: earth, air, fire, and water. All of these elements can be cleansing, they can be healing, they can be used for good things. They can also be used for bad things. You know, fire can keep you warm when you're cold. It can also kill you. Each of the elements can. So, pick the essence of that element that you're wanting to work with and focus on that. Keep that in your intentions. I get a lot of questions, requests about doing baneful work. That's a decision that everyone has to make. I've helped people do it. I don't choose to do it myself. But think about the energy that you're creating when you do that kind of work, and make the decision for yourself if this is something that you want to do. If you're working with bad energies, then remember back to the beginning of this class, you're sharing that bad energy with everyone. So the biggest thing is to plan your magical work. Plan the energy you're going to put into it. Don't start it immediately. Wait till you have yourself in that energy, and make sure you're aligned with what you are wanting to do. Energy is in everything we do. It affects every aspect of our lives, and we have to be conscious of it. We have to put ourselves in a place to accept and to recognize and live within that energy and change it if we need to. We can't keep living old energetic patterns and expect new outcomes. So I hope this information helps you today. Maybe helps you open your eyes to what you're working with and the type of energies that are around you. And hopefully I've given you some tools on how to align with those. And I wish you the very best. Thanks for listening.